Hi everybody. Trump news. He's off on the 3rd of November for his 12-day trip to Asia. Now, this is a quote from the Washington Times, but I'm reading from the newspaper, the political Washington DC newspaper called The Hill. Trump to skip key summit to return earlier from Asia trip. Trump to skip key summit to return earlier from Asia trip. President Trump will skip a major gathering of world leaders in the Philippines next month in order to return to the United States a day earlier, according to the Washington Post. A White House spokesman told the Post that while Trump will meet with Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte and others during his 12-day Asia trip next month, he will not visit the city of Angeles, where leaders of more than a dozen countries are meeting for the East Asia Summit. The summit is scheduled for November 13th and 14th, with the majority of the major events taking place on the second day. Trump will be in Manila on November 13th, where he will depart the country to return to the United States. This is odd. A White House spokesman confirmed to the Post that Trump will return to the US on the evening of the 13th and cautioned critics not to read anything into Trump's decision to skip the summit and meetings with other world leaders. Well, the whole point of him going, I'm just adding here, the whole point of him going to Asia for this trip is to discuss with world leaders what possible solutions they can come up with to address North Korea. And he's leaving, not going to be there for that summit. That is very strange. The president's trip to Asia is extremely lengthy and will be his longest to date. His return to the US on the evening of November 13th is entirely schedule driven. Let me read that again because it's going to fall in with the blog, the numbers that I'm about to present. The president's trip to Asia is extremely lengthy and will be his longest to date. His return to the US on the evening of November 13th is entirely schedule driven. The evening of November 13th, it'll already be the 14th here in Australia and New Zealand. The spokesman said, "You should not read anything into his being absent on the 14th or being absent for this summit, this Asia summit." Former ambassador to Burma, Derek Mitchell, called Trump's decision to skip the summit a big deal. It's a big deal. The Obama administration made a point of investing in those regional institutions in order to demonstrate we are an Asia-Pacific power, a resident power in the region, said Mitchell, who served under President Obama. This will only raise more questions about American credibility. Multilateralism in Asia is often just about showing up, and even that appears to be hard for him, Mitchell added. Mitchell added that the timing of the East Asia Summit is frequently decided to make it convenient for US leaders to attend. Oh, how more convenient, and he's leaving the day before? Well, he's leaving on the day of the first day of the summit, so he's already there and he's leaving. They tend to schedule the summit to make it easier for the United States to attend, he added. It is not necessarily convenient for others. I'm sure it's frustrating to many of our partners. Trump will travel to China, Vietnam, Japan, the Philippines, and South Korea as part of the 12-day trip. Trump previously made headlines when it was reported that he attempted to shorten his first foreign trip as president from 9 to 5 days and expressed dread about the prospect of going abroad. This is from The Hill. Okay, so here are the numbers. So I want to go back to his trip to Europe, where he spoke at Nato on the 25th of May, 2017, and he also went to the G7 summit while he was there. Okay, he returned on that trip on the 28th of May, 2017, returned to the White House, went straight onto the computer, tweeted mad, crazy stuff about fake news, CNN, blah, 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 and told everybody that fake news is the enemy. He tweeted that fake news is the enemy. Okay, think of this. That was on the 4th month and the 8th day from Inauguration Day. He returned from his first trip. 4 months and 8 days from Inauguration Day, tweeted that the enemy is fake news. No, the enemy is the man born on the 4th of the 8th. Let's continue on. He returns on the 13th of November 2017 from this trip in Asia the evening of, okay, which is already the 14th here in Australia and New Zealand. That date from Election Day is 6 days and 12 months. 6 days and 12 months from Election Day is November 14th. Inauguration Day, you can count to the 14th of November, the day he'll be back in the White House, the morning of. You can count from Inauguration Day, 84 days on and 216 days. 84 plus 216 days equals the time period from Inauguration Day to November 14th, 2017. On the 84th day, remember, was the 13th of April, and Trump dropped the mother of all bombs. The mother of all bombs was dropped on the 13th of April, day 84 from Inauguration Day. I'll write this in the blog underneath. So they say his schedule does not permit for him to go to this Asia summit, and he's got to return immediately back to the White House. Why? Has he got to head off? Has he got to immediately get back to Jersey and play another round of golf at the Bedminster Golf Club? Is that why he has to come back? Okay, if you look back into his campaign speeches, Trump did a foreign policy speech, very important foreign policy speech. I've just posted the video on my main page. It says that Trump called this, said within the first minute of this speech that we've got to bring peace through strength. Peace through strength. Strength to America, and the military might of America means war, means engaging a country in the act of war. Strength. Peace through strength. Okay, this speech was given on September 7th, 2016. 2 months, 1 year, 6 days on is November 14th, 2017. 2 months, 1 year, 6 days on from that foreign policy speech. We've got to bring peace through war. Strength. 216 to November 14th. I'll just let people do their own counts, but count from Moab bomb. Count from Gotham City, first day, drill, April 24th. 2, you know the date I'm talking about. Count from Trump showing up for the commemoration of the USS Gerald Ford on the 22nd of July. Count from August 22nd, when he stood there with the troops in Yuma, Arizona, to the date I just mentioned. Thanks for listening.